Ladies and 乡亲们，很感谢大家上次对 Norton 博士那集的支持，让我跟油管流量底流拉开了约一个台积电3纳米的距离。
三小，
既然大家都是重训爱好者，那我们就单刀直入来谈一谈一个相当热门的健身补给品 Creatine 肌酸。其实我最早听说这个补给品反而是有关增进认知方面的，因为我是 Huberman 博士的忠实观众，那 Huberman 又是个被史丹佛医学院耽误的健身狂人，因此他很自然的就请到了 Lane Norton 来访谈。
再鬼扯，信不信我砍你？
总而言之，适当的服用肌酸是可以帮助增肌甚至提升认知功能的。更重要的，肌酸不是激素，所以服用起来也不会有身心理负担。那到底要怎样服用？而肌酸又是怎么工作的？且听 Dr. Norton 分享。Life Kaizen 将为大家把英语圈的生活改善新知，定期以超浓缩加划重点的形式制作成影片，供各位朋友参考及分享。您的支持是我持续做这个节目的动力。喜欢的话，请务必订阅、点赞、按小铃铛哦。
I'd like to ask you about supplements for a moment. One that I'm very familiar with, which is creatine monohydrate. Share your thoughts on that, not just for muscle building, but maybe any other purposes for it.
Touching on creatine, it is the most tested, safe, and effective sports supplement we have. There are thousands of studies on creatine monohydrate now. I would say very clearly too, if you're using any other form of creatine, I think you're wasting your money. Creatine hydrochloride, it's apparently it's a little more soluble. Claim is that you need less, but there's only a couple studies on it, and it's more expensive.
And creatine monohydrate is not particularly expensive.
So I tell people, just take creatine monohydrate. It is tried and true. It's been shown to saturate the muscle cells 100% with phosphocreatine, and that's what you want. So creatine works through a few different methodologies. One, through increasing phosphocreatine content, which helps improve exercise performance. It appears to improve recovery, and it increases lean mass. A lot of is through bringing water into the muscle cells. I mean, muscle cells are mostly water. So when people say, well, it's just water, that's what muscle cells mostly are. It also increases strength. It also has been shown in studies, people tend to get a decrease in body fat percentage. Now, that's probably because they're getting an increase in lean mass, and so the relative is a decrease in body fat percentage. But there are a few studies that show a decrease in fat mass as well. I don't think that creatine's a fat burner. I think that people are able to train harder, build more lean tissue, and so that's probably having an effect on fat mass. Then they've actually shown more recently some cognitive benefits to creatine. The only knock on creatine that anybody's been able to come up with, because they've debunked the kidney stuff, they've debunked the liver stuff, there's no evidence that it harms healthy kidney or liver, is hair loss. Because there was one study in 2009 that showed that creatine increased DHT. But they didn't really show an effect on any other sex hormone. And it's only one study, again, didn't directly measure hair loss, measured DHT, which we know is involved in the loss of the follicle. So what I would say is that I am not convinced. It's only one study, never been replicated to my knowledge, and it was looking at a mechanism rather than an outcome. For most people, I don't think it's something to worry about.
Do you emphasize the classic loading of creatine? 5 grams per day is kind of the typical dose that people take.
You can load it and you will saturate phosphocreatine stores faster, like usually within a week. If you just take 5 grams per day, it'll take 2, 3, 4 weeks, but you will get to the same place. You're probably going to have a much lower risk of GI issues. Some people, creatine can be a gut irritant. If it is for some folks, I would recommend splitting it into multiple doses. So maybe like multiple 1 or 2 gram doses per day, and definitely don't load it if you're somebody who has GI issues from it.
所以这一段的重点就是肌酸要选用 Creatine Monohydrate， 中文叫一水肌酸，一天摄取5克差不多。肠胃不好的人可以分次摄取。肌酸的运作方式又是怎么一回事？让我们继续来听。
When you are exercising or just doing anything, your energy currency of your cells, ATP. In order to drive muscular contraction, your ATP donates a phosphate. That liberation of that phosphate to form ADP and a free phosphate is energetically favorable and helps drive these muscular contractions. Or phosphocreatine can act as a high energy phosphate donor to reform ATP and allow you to perform better. But it's also a really powerful osmolyte, and so it pulls water into muscle tissue. We do know that when you take creatine, you see improvements in lean mass. And some people will say, well, that's just water. Well,
but that's what muscle mostly is,
but
isn't
muscle is 70% water.
如果你听到这边还没关掉的话，首先请先收下我的膝盖，再来就是原谅我占用了你的时间。 加上后面这段主要是凸显本频道的专业性，但除非是医生或做生技的，知道这个好像也没什么用。总之保健品吃归吃，结论还是要多锻炼，组数跟次数都上来。祝各位越练越有力，事事都顺利。我们下期再见。